Hello, everyone. Ella here from All Writers Welcome and the All Writers Welcome Facebook group. I'm here to talk about self publishing because there was someone in the group who was a little bit nervous about self publishing and that people wouldn't be reading that people wouldn't read their book. And I wanted to go over a few good reasons, especially for people who are just starting out, to get started on Amazon and why it's a good idea. So, the first reason is it's cheap. In fact, it's free. My favorite kind of cost. Yeah, so self publishing on Amazon is 100% free. You might think, there's probably some places out there that are charging you for formatting and book covers, and you can always pay money. Um, but in fact, it, actually, the process of going on Amazon and self-publishing your book, it's 100% free. They even have so that's the good thing. You bring the book in, you load it up onto Amazon, and it's free. So that's one thing to think about. Like, it doesn't have to cost anything. So that's not a barrier for you to self-publish. The number two reason to self-publish, specifically on Amazon, is it's really easy. When you're first starting out, it seems like there's already enough barriers to getting out there. There's already enough barriers for doing what you need to do. And like, you're like, I'm writing, I'm formatting, there's all these things. And you don't need another barrier of like the difficulties of trying to self publish. In fact, fortunately, though, Amazon has made it as easy as possible for you to get your books out there. They have a free Kindle book that goes through the formatting for you. They actually offer book cover services. Now, they are not fancy, but you don't have to even have a pre-made book cover. You can use one of their book cover templates, and everything is pretty well laid out step by step what you need to do, and not in a crazy difficult way. Like Megan has said a few times, that if you've ever had to put an essay or a paper into MLA standard, that was more difficult than formatting your book for Amazon. So that's another thing. That's the second reason. It's really easy to self-publish on Amazon. And this is the third reason to self-publish, and specifically when you're starting on Amazon. And I want to talk specifically to people who are nervous about nobody reading it. Amazon wants to sell your books. And this is the third reason why I really love self-publishing on Amazon, for especially when you're just starting out. You know, I say minimize the distractions, minimize the complications. So you're like, how do I publish on Amazon and Wattpad and you have all these places that you're trying to get your book out there. Minimize all that until you get the book out, and focus on one, Amazon, because they're a huge platform, and two, when you're worried about people reading your book, keep this in mind. Amazon wants to sell your book. They are a selling machine. Their whole reason for being is selling books. All Amazon wants to do is sell more copies of more books. Well, it's not all, but like that's one of their top things. So when you say like, oh, I'm nervous about whether people will read it. Now, there are some things that you can do to have more people, reading your book. But keep in mind that Amazon is not trying to hide anybody's book. They want people to buy more books. Like, that's why they have the recommended reads on all their, Kindles. They're constantly like, people who purchase this also purchase this because they want people to buy more. So a lot of the marketing and selling is already done for you when you go through Amazon. So I want to kind of like take that worry out of your mind. You'll still have your own worries about people reading, but it's the system is working for you. And then once you get that book onto Amazon and you get more comfortable with self-publishing, then you can go forward and say, okay, now I'm going to make a physical copy. Now I'm going to move it to Nook. Now I'm going to, like, you can go ahead after you get it out there and spread it out to even more places. But there shouldn't be a barrier to getting started, is what I'm saying. Like your book deserves to be out there, and so don't let there be a barrier, because there's little barriers possible. Although, if you are still nervous about self-publishing and you're like, I don't know exactly how to, or you do want somebody to walk you through it to an extent, Megan and I are doing a webinar tonight, and we're going to go through a calendar of how to write, market, and self-publish your book in 4 months. And the calendar is free, so go ahead and sign up for the webinar and you'll get the calendar on the webinar. But we'll go through week by week for 4 months how to write, market, and self-publish your book. And so then you'll really, really clearly be able to see, like, this is what to do. These are the steps you take, and they'll be broken down like 1 week at a time. And it's really, really doable. You'll be able to see, like, oh, yeah, not as hard as I thought. Because sometimes a lot of the nervousness comes from the unknown, right? You're like, I don't know what's going to happen. What do I have to do? And that's where a lot of the nervousness and fear comes from. And then, so I invite you to come to the webinar and get the breakdown of week by week what it takes to self-publish a book, with the writing, with the marketing, and with the actual, like, formatting your book and making a book cover. Go ahead and come to the webinar tonight, or we have one tomorrow morning if that works better for you. I'll put the links in the comments. Yeah, because listen, and this all comes back to my core reason of why I care about this, is that there are so many creative writings out there, you guys. You guys have a gift. Writers have a gift. You have a story that needs to be told and that the world needs to be able to read. I can't even count how many books have transformed my life or have made a huge difference in my life. And one of those books could be yours. like your book could be that book for me or for somebody, and it deserves to be out there. And here in this group, we believe in you, and we want you to feel confident and comfortable and successful. Like, how awesome would it be to be able to support yourself with your books? And that's another reason, that's like one of the bonus reasons of why I recommend Amazon and self-publishing in general, is because you can make good money on Amazon. And by good money, I don't like it, up to millions, but you can make decent money just being a regular writer and putting your stuff out there. So I don't want there to be any barriers for you to getting your work out there and self-publishing somehow. So come on over to the webinar. And let me repeat the reasons why I'm a true believer of self-publishing. And the reasons are: it's inexpensive. Like on Amazon, it's free. There's no costs going in. It's really easy, like not nearly as difficult as it seems when you don't know. So come to the webinar tonight. If you're still feeling a little overwhelmed, come to the webinar and get the breakdown of what's actually involved. And then the third reason to self-publish and start on Amazon is because they want to sell your book. They want to sell it. So they want more people to buy it. And they have a 70% royalty if you charge over $2.99. So not only do they want to sell your book, but you get to make money. So that's those are the three reasons. Plus the bonus reason is they have a huge platform. They have a huge platform. There are millions and millions and millions of dollars being spent on Amazon every day on their Kindle ebooks. So don't allow yourself having a barrier to entry when it's absolutely unnecessary. Like, don't let the technicalities don't let the technicalities be the reason that your book doesn't get out there, because they're not as difficult as you think, and you've got support here in the All Writers Welcome to get it out there. So I'm curious if anybody has some other things that they might be nervous about in self-publishing. If you are, go ahead and put them in the comments. Or if you have, or if you are somebody who has already self-published and you want to be encouraging for the person, go ahead and leave them in the comments as well. Yeah, and we will see you hopefully on the webinar tonight or tomorrow morning. I will put the links in the comments and in the description for this video. Thank you, everybody.